So as I was saying, they were some of the wisest people who ever walked the planet. They invented entire domains and their ideas were so revolutionary, some of them are even, practiced and applied today. And I just wanted to know more about them and maybe share some of my findings with the world. Oh, what's going on? It's your friend Tiberius. A little over a year ago, I had this revelation that got me to leave behind what was considered a very good lifestyle, but was actually a big comfort zone in disguise. I was in Bucharest, Romania. I was living in a very nice place, had a great social group, was going out to, some of the nicest places, and I was mostly doing what I love to do. One night I had an Instagram live with one of the most famous people in the industry, and we had many thousands of people attended. And after that Instagram live, there was a voice inside my head that said, wow, you made it. Look at you. You have such a nice life. You do what you love to do, and you're helping people. And in the same time, a stronger voice came and said, you're actually trapped. You're in a comfort zone. You're in a box. And the truth is that I was in a box. I was having a nice box, living in a nice box, speaking to my audience, kind of from a box, maybe a box office. I realized that I wasn't inspiring me anymore. I was just too much in a comfort zone that instead of going and growing out there, I was kind of like playing it safe. That I wasn't a practitioner of this information anymore. I wasn't like in the good old days where I just had my dreams ahead of me and just a desire to go after them. That weekend, I went on a solo trip to the mountains, wrote down a couple of dozen pages, and I made a new decision. And that decision would be to travel the world and connect with the greatest minds of the past and present, grow through that experience, and also share my findings with others. I also decided to go to Greece first, as many of the world's greatest thought leaders were born and taught their message there, the ancient Greek philosophers. Philosophy comes from the ancient Greek words philos and sophia and literally means the love of wisdom. I spent a year there, mostly in Athens, 5 minutes walk away from the ancient Greek Acropolis. And I immersed myself there in ancient Greek philosophy, taking walks every day, kind of like walking in the footsteps of the ancient Greeks, also studying their lessons. And I've learned a lot from the ancient Greek greats, and I've grown a lot. In this video, I want to share with you my 7 lessons or 7 main takeaways from my time there. The first life lesson comes from Socrates, who's considered to be the founder of Western philosophy. He said that the unexamined life is not worth living, and he's also very well known for his Socratic method of asking really good questions. He used this method to examine people's beliefs, which in many cases were erroneous and maybe would have led them to make some wrong decisions and steer their life in the wrong direction. We live in a world where many companies, people, ads talk about having the best products, the best opportunities, but are they truthful, and are those actually the products that we need? And we also live in a world where we know very little about ourselves, and actually some of the things we've been taught to believe are simply not true. Well, then there's areas like happiness, health, finances, wealth, relationships, which actually very few people get the opportunity to learn about and to master in the correct way and therefore enjoy a great life. And I think it's important for us to really start analyzing our beliefs and what we know about things, and also looking at the opportunities or things that come from the outside environment and ask, are these things, products, ideas true? And are they going to help me reach my dreams? Are they going to enrich my life? Are they going to help me get to my vision or my purpose faster? And if the answer is no, maybe we don't need them. I call this smart skepticism, and it's helped me avoid certain things that were not that helpful, question some of my beliefs, and form some new beliefs that are empowering. Thanks, Socrates. Okay, now the second one comes from Plato. He said that the first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. To be conquered by yourself is of all things most shameful and vile. Okay, no shaming, Plato, but think about this. Many times we want to stay away from certain activities. We know they're not good for us. We know they're not going to move us in the direction of our goals or dreams, but we do them anyway. Maybe it's hanging out with the wrong people. Maybe it's conducting in certain behaviors that are detrimental to our health. to our finances, to our well-being. Plato was a big proponent of self-mastery, of using our reasoning factor in order to really analyze our life and see what our instincts and desires are doing versus what we really want to do. And Plato encouraged us to reflect upon how we're living our life, how we're conducting our day-to-day activities, and see where we're letting our desires and compulsive behaviors take over versus when we're using a real willpower and reasoning factor to do what we truly want to do. And think about this, it's so relevant today because in today's world, there are so many temptations and things that can lead us astray. And that dopamine hit is so easy to get, right? But let's ask ourselves, does this really make us fulfilled? Or is there a better, more conscious, deliberate way to live that can help us achieve the life we want and we actually deserve? Third one also comes from Plato. And he said that there are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. And here is where Plato emphasizes the faculty of self-control again. You see, anger rarely helps. It's more of a flight or fight mechanism. And think about it. How many times were you angry and then you ended up saying or doing something that you regretted afterwards? Plato has a very smart way of encouraging us to let go of anger, practice calmness of mind, and focus on finding solutions in circumstances where we have any control. And there are things that really are outside of our control. And there are many things that we can never change. For example, the past. So why stay angry at something that we cannot change anymore? But the good news is that when it comes to improving our lives, a lot of things are in our control. The starting point is clarity of mind and good choices. And I know it's easier said than done, but this is the whole beauty of this journey of growth and personal development. Taking the time to really master different aspects of ourselves and practicing ideas, skills, and disciplines that over time compound and lead to a great life. And also the awareness that at every moment we can choose to let go of anger and embrace peace and happiness. The fourth idea comes from Aristotle, student of Plato and mentor of Alexander the Great. He said that freedom is obedience to self-formulated rules. Aristotle was highly into self-discipline and into developing virtuous behaviors, saying that they lead to eudaimonia. And eudaimonia can be translated nowadays as the flourishing of life or a fulfilling life or even happiness. It took me a while to realize how much self-discipline gives me freedom and frees up my life. And I used to think that too much self-discipline can make me rigid or make me uncreative. And the reality is that if we're not disciplined with how we choose to spend our time and energy, the outside world will easily take that from us. There's always a new Netflix series, there's always a new addictive game over there designed to just take our focus, energy, and time. In my case, being self-disciplined and optimal with my activities gave me the luxury to do so many things that I never thought would be possible before. It made me more efficient, it made me increase my earnings, it made me be able to travel the world and spend times with people that I really love spending time with. It helped me practice hobbies and activities like yoga, training, and going to dance classes almost every single day. Things that I thought that I could do only in weekends, and then I thought that the other things that I can do from Monday to Friday are just work-related. The truth is that we have time for everything, but it's about how we master our time and our activities. And self-discipline is key. Self-discipline is freedom. Let's do another one from Aristotle because his stuff is just so good. He said that we become just by the practice of just actions, self-controlled by exercising self-control, and courageous by performing acts of courage. He's basically talking about developing good habits. Many people talk about habits today and the latest discoverings in neuroscience and how our brain gets conditioned, but they were practicing this thousands of years ago. Now, the good thing is that the things that seem difficult in the beginning become easier over time, and at a certain point they become automatic. They become habits. Maybe things like waking up early, training, working on certain skill sets, even like learning to play an instrument. It's a bit difficult in the beginning, but over time it becomes automatic. And the thing is that when we see some real results, we get excited and we want to do more and more and more and more of them. In the 1940s, Albert Ian Gray said that the common denominator of success, the secret of success of every person who has ever been successful, lies in the fact that They form the habit of doing things that people who fail don't like to do. Think about this. It's all about forming the habits. Think about what you really want to achieve. Then think about some of the activities that maybe are a bit difficult to do, and understand that once they become habits, they're just gonna be easy to do. That's what successful people do. They just turn them into habits. The sixth lesson is from Epicurus, who almost 2,300 years ago dedicated his life to put together the principles that can help us live a tranquil, peaceful, and happy life on one side, and then avoid unnecessary pain and suffering on the other side. According to him, the key to living a happy life is to focus on moments, things, desires that come natural, like taking a walk in nature, enjoying simple moments, surrounding ourselves with a community of people that are supportive, studying philosophy, but also getting rid of unnecessary worry about the future, superstitions, or concerns about the afterlife. He also encourages us to avoid what he calls vain or unnatural pleasures or desires, such as chasing power or unlimited amounts of wealth, things that are unquantifiable, things that we can never really get enough of. And the seventh one is from Heraclitus, who often spoke about change and the impermanence of things. He said that no person ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and they're not the same person. And think about this. Every year, as people, we receive new physical bodies. The lining in our stomachs replenish every 2 weeks. The cells in our skin replenish every 30 days. It might take a few months for organs in our bodies, and even our bones change every year or so. The only things that we carry with us are our beliefs, conditioning, values. So let's make sure we work on them, and let's make sure that we make them in what we want to make them, because they are in our control. And as my mentor Bob Proctor used to say, change is inevitable, but personal growth is a choice. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. This is Tiberius. Believe it's possible.
Wow, you made it to the end of the video. You're awesome. Comment your name and your main takeaway from this video, and let's talk about it in the comment section. Also, here's another video that I recommend you watch.